say they're all impactful women. The next speaker that I'm so honored to introduce is a woman who's not only a transformational speaker, she's also a best-selling author of the book Drama-Free Health. This woman doesn't just write about it, she is this. And you're going to experience this by listening to Jaime Duggan, who's going to talk about the human condition. Jaime, welcome to the stage. The floor is yours. You look incredible, and it is really, really important for us to hear you as well with your amazing knowledge. So the best thing you can do is unmute yourself, and then you have the floor is all yours. Jaime Duggan, everybody.
Thank you, Lori. Thank you for this opportunity, and thank you for the early morning pep talk, because I honestly had no idea what to talk about today. I had zero, my mind is a total blank. And I don't know if anybody else here has ever felt that way, where you are trying to come up with your next move. You're trying to come up with the perfect thing to say, or to sound intelligent, or to make an impact. And no matter what you do, your brain is just at a standstill. And that is where I'm at. That is where I have been for the last couple months. And the crazy thing is that this year has been one of the most successful years of my life. Six years ago, I was a single mom in an apartment with my two young boys, and working multiple jobs, struggling to make ends meet, really not even making ends meet. And, living with food stamps and asking my parents for help, and just feeling very alone. I have two boys who had two different dads. And, one relationship hadn't worked out, and the other relationship, the dad who I had known for years and had relationships on and off with, he had begged me to move to Texas, to marry him, to have babies. And after I had my older son, I went back to him and I said, you know what, maybe we're missing out. Maybe I should have chosen you all along, because clearly the path I've chosen hasn't worked out, as the relationship with my older son's dad was really volatile and unhealthy. And so we started seeing each other very briefly from afar. He was in Houston, Texas. I was in San Diego, and he came out to visit, and I got pregnant. And literally like that, he came out to visit, and one time, and I got pregnant. And the implications of this pregnancy were very heavy on my heart. So I had a 2-year-old boy. I was a single mom with a 2-year-old blonde-haired, blue-eyed boy. And I was now pregnant with a half-black kid. I worked in a all-white neighborhood with a lot of wealth and judgment. And I could just feel this like shame and embarrassment of, I can't even believe that I'm going to have this child who looks so different from my other kid. I can't even pretend like they come from the same dad. And this storm of just lack of self-worth and lack of confidence and questioning myself and feeling so inadequate as a human being that for years I struggled, right? So I was barely making ends meet. And my girlfriend called me up and she shared this story with me, this vision she had. And I remember so vividly. I was making eggs, my favorite breakfast in the whole wide world. I was making eggs with pesto and mushrooms and spinach. And she calls me up and she's talking to me about this opportunity for a business. And I literally was like overdrawn every single month. And she's like, if you could, if you invest in this business, I think, it's going to be amazing. I want to live by coastal. She was at the time in New York. We had met in San Diego. And she's like, I just have this vision of like freedom and choice. And in that moment, everything shifted because I had this vision that was beyond me and that was beyond my current circumstances. And that was the moment that everything in my life started to change. That was the moment that I got introduced to personal development, to working on myself, and to dreaming bigger, to seeing life beyond my current circumstances, which, as a single mom with two young boys, literally an infant and a 2.5-year-old, I could barely see beyond the afternoon. And so fast forward, 6 years, this is now January of 2024, and I have goals for the year. I have goals to finish writing my book, that I never dreamed possible. I have goals of running a half marathon, which may not seem that impressive to some, but I do not like to run. I don't enjoy it. And I just thought, I'm going to challenge myself. This is the year of challenge. I'm going to run this half marathon. I'm going to finish this book. I'm going to publish a book. I'm going to take action in my business. My coaching business is taking off, and I am in this loving, healthy, happy marriage. We live in a beautiful home in a beautiful neighborhood with amazing neighbors. My kids are thriving and healthy. They're now 9, 8, and 10, 9 and 11. And life is going so good. And this year, I am knocking things out of the park. I get that half marathon, baby, and it is done by Easter. I get the book is finished by the first week of January, and we're working on publishing it by February 1st. Every single check that I had, every single goal that I had for this year, I was knocking it out of the park. I felt amazing and on top of the world. And this high really, really was phenomenal right up until the book launched. Honestly, that's when everything changed. My book launched. I did my audiobook, and things that I had accomplished, my goals started to be checked off the box. And what happened was the total opposite of what I thought would happen. What I thought would happen was that this momentum was just going to be like phenomenal and amazing. And what ended up happening is that I began to doubt myself. I began to self-sabotage myself. I began to question everything that I have worked for, from the single mom who couldn't pay her bills to being in a happy, loving relationship with money to spare. I began to just shame spiral. And I allowed this to sink into my being, into my subconscious, into my self-worth, into who I am, to question myself. And I was left with two choices. I can either sit in my shit. I can either sit in this self-pity, this doubt, and throw everything that I have worked for away. I can question myself. I can sabotage. I can let my clients down, my husband down, my kids down, myself down. Or I can choose to move forward. I can choose to put my head down and take action. I can choose to know that I am the one in control. And so there's three things that I have really learned through the process of my personal development career, of writing my book, of sitting through the single mom life into married life. And it really comes down to this: life has seasons. Just like the seasons change around us. Well, not if you're in San Diego, we kind of have one season. But there are seasons in life. There is time for growth, like spring. There is summer. There is fall for reaping, and there is winter. And when you step back and you give yourself grace to understand and to know that it's okay to allow the seasons in life to take place, because we cannot go forward 110% all the time. It's okay to recover. I went through an incredible spring and summer and fall, and immediately winter hit. Why was I surprised when this winter hit? So know that no matter where you are in life, there will always be seasons. Seasons for growth, seasons for rest, seasons for planting and harvesting. The next thing that I know to be true, and that I help my clients understand this, and this is something that I think is so important, and that is that when we start to doubt ourselves, when I get in this shame spiral and I start to focus on the negative, what is actually happening is that I am focusing on what I cannot control. I'm losing sight of the things I can do that are going to move the needle forward. Brennan Burchard said, the grandest needle mover in your depth of control over your life is your outlook and the quality of meaning you attach to the events in your life in your future. And I read that this morning and I thought that is so incredibly powerful and so true. I may not have control over where my business is, how my book is doing, or how many of my clients are traveling all at once. What I do have control over is the meaning I give to it. I can either choose to look at myself as being a failure, or remind myself that I wrote a book, that I published it and became a best-selling author, that I achieved these goals that I never thought were possible. There was a time in my life when I dreamed of the life I have now that I never thought was possible, but yet here I sit in this. So why do I doubt myself that the next level isn't possible? Because where I am right now at one point didn't seem possible. So I have to regain that focus of the control of what I have, what I can control, regain the focus of what is within my control. What is my outlook? What is my meaning? And this is the last part of it, what am I doing about it? What is the action that I can take to move the needle forward? To stop sitting in this spiraling shit of I can't control, I suck, I am doubting myself, into I did it before, I can do it again. Why did I lose sight of where I came from when I have come so far? So I want to leave you with this. No matter where you are in life, no matter what doubts you have, whether they be business, health, can I actually improve my health? Can I actually make this a lifestyle? Can I actually be an entrepreneur? Can I make this work? I want you to remember that no matter what, life will always have seasons. When you focus on what you can control, everything becomes possible. Stress becomes less. Joy becomes more. And when you take action, you build that confidence and that belief in yourself that helped you get from where you were to where you are, and that is going to help you move from where you are to where you want to go. Thank you.
Wow. Can we agree that a transformational speaker comes from the heart, knows that when you share from where you are now and where you want to go, knowing how to use all the lenses, you just blow everybody's socks off. Can we agree in the chat? Like, just share some love with Jamie because this was freaking amazing. Jamie, what I would love to encourage you to do, and everybody who finishes speaking right away, is to record a video in this state and answer the question, how do I feel now? Because in this state, when you're ever in doubt, like, should I share on stage? I might not have the perfect message. You just showed yourself and all of us that you can always share something epically powerful with what you feel in the moment. You're going to read the love later on in the chat. It was phenomenal, Jamie. Well done. Go record that video. You will thank yourself later. That was phenomenal. Well done. Wow. Wow. Transformational Speakers United. This is the group you're part of. This is the biggest asset that you have as a coach, entrepreneur, as a speaker. Being you now.